Hey everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Irit and on my channel I share my crochet adventures. And today I want to talk about what I'm wearing. I also I thought about doing like a separate video for this book review, but I don't wanna. So I'll talk about that in a bit. And then I have a few little updates and things I want to show you. The fourth part of the cal, I think, went up yesterday, if my whole scheduling is will go as planned. So if you missed that, make sure and go back and check that video, because that is part 4 of the half and half sweater cal, where I show you how to do the back panels and we actually connect the sweater to create one piece. And it's a very exciting part. Very, very simple. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing this, my first spring item, I kind of call it, because it is a little bit open. I don't think I think you can kind of see a little bit what I have underneath. It's not like super see-through, but a little bit risky. And I think the color for me is like very, very springy. So this is again based on the half and half construction, because why not? It just works for so many projects with some adjustments. So for example, I just started straight in pattern. I think maybe I did a row of single crochet before switching to the half and half stitch pattern, which is just single crochet, double crochet. So I didn't do ribbing like I did in all of the other sweaters, but then I added at the end just like this nice, I love this type of edging. It's a super simple, scallop. How slow is my brain? It's a super simple scallop border, and I do have the instructions for it in the pattern. When you buy the pattern, you get 3 options for like finishing edges. But yeah, so in the pattern I give you that options for the neckline and the bottom of the sweater, because the pattern starts with a ribbing, but obviously you can just add the edging at the end and skip the ribbing. So it's another variation. And then also here I did like a few rows of back loop half double crochet just to get those lines. I think I like it. I like that element. So I was just playing around with the stitches. So instead of, I stopped at some point with the stitch pattern and just switched to half double crochets in the back loop only on the right side, and then regular half double crochets on the wrong side of the sweater. And I really like that detail. And the finishing touches were these flowers. So I showed you in a previous video that I ordered these cute fabric flowers, and I was waiting for these safety pins so I could attach them. And actually my daughter was kind enough to sit with the hot glue gun and attach all of these. And so I just added a little combo here. I had the hardest time choosing. I mean, I think it's, at this point, it's just like a, sorry, I have something in my eye today. It's just a personal preference type of thing, because you could add a lot more embellishments, or maybe just one flower. You could of course crochet a flower. I only had a little bit of this yarn left, so I did crochet a flower from it, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll sew it in. So this is just like a really fun way of giving something extra to your garments. And I also think that, you know, if you add these kinds of things, I don't know, to me, these kind of details kind of give it more the feeling of something you bought, or something that is just like more finished. But that's just like my thing. Also, I think like combining these different yarns, I also think it gives it a more like polished look, or something like a bit more interesting. It doesn't look like something you necessarily made yourself. I don't know, that's kind of just my view. Now, as I was thinking about like embellishing and making these, and also there's this one shop in the US and they have the most gorgeous yarns I have ever seen, and I'm going to put a link. This is like, I'm not affiliated with them. I didn't check even if they have an affiliate link. The problem is that they only have, I think, one yarn. It's not even like real yarn. It's just like ripped fabric that is cotton, and everything else is wool, and I don't use animal fibers. But they have just the most gorgeous yarns I have ever seen, with the colors that are just so my colors. I'll put a link to, they have like this little, like a sample kit. I can't tell you how many times I looked at that thing and I was like, do I want to try animal fibers? Now, I am, without even like, I'm not even getting into, this is not judging anyone. I am far, far from perfect, but I am vegan and I try as much as I can to avoid using any products that come from animals. And I just like, I love those yarns so much. So this is not even about, you know, let's get into that discussion if like wool is ethical or not. This is just about wanting something so bad that you are kind of questioning your ethical beliefs. And I'm not, it's not even about, just like in general, which I find it to be, I'm not proud of that quality, that like, I want something that, you know, I don't need to live or thrive so much that I'm like, you know, just like reconsidering my world views. That I think really bothers me, besides the fact that that yarn is just like gorgeous. So, you know, hop on over there, and I'm sorry, it is really expensive. Like, in my opinion, especially since I don't buy animal fibers, those tend to be the most expensive fibers. So for me, like the fancy yarns are still not at that price level of like really, really nice, you know, animal fibers. So anyway, they have like one of their yarns has these tiny, cute flowers in it. And I was like, I don't think I'll ever do that. But I found a seller, there are like so many lovely people that enjoy doing things that I don't want to do. And so I found a really nice Etsy seller that has these little flowers. So I just thought, okay, maybe I can just, you know, add some of these cute little flowers to my projects. So this is, I think, like the pastel set, and then this one is like a pink mix because I love pink. And so yeah, these are like teeny tiny, well, they're not like teeny tiny, but you know, like 1 inch, yeah, maybe a little bit less, crochet flowers with very thin strand, and I don't want to do that. And then she gave me this, I think, as a thank you. I don't think I ordered this, so that's nice. So I got these from Etsy, and actually this color here, like here in the pink mix, there are actually also like a few of these like violet colors, actually also in this one. So I could like sprinkle those on the sweater, and I think that would look really, really cute. These are all with safety pins like attached, so I can move them around or remove them if I'm not in the mood for something, you know, more embellished. But I just love that idea of like adding little touches. I really think those details can make the difference between something that looks, you know, like handmade, but I don't, handmade is not like an insult to me, but sometimes things can look very simple, and I think these kinds of things, or like these kinds of things, can elevate it a little bit. So that's what I feel. As for the sweater, I'm really happy with it. I think the yarn choice wasn't the best. I've talked about this before. It's like this is like, it's a cotton blend, but it doesn't have a ton of cotton in it. It's like 30% cotton, and it's just, it doesn't have like any drape. It's like, you know, cotton balls. So yeah, so that's why I also added like the edges here, because this is a heavier fiber. So I also have a row at the bottom of the sweater. It just like weighs it down a little bit more, but it's very comfortable and very pleasant to wear. I think I would consider, I have like a ton of yarn and a ton of other projects, but I would consider using this yarn for maybe more of like a poofy kind of cardigan, or maybe something long that, you know, just the weight of it would like weigh it down a little bit more, but it wouldn't be super heavy because this yarn is like so fluffy. Yeah, so that is that. Very, very happy with it, and I think I will wear it for spring, even though it's not perfect. Okay, so let's talk about this book. I was very excited about this book. I wanted to do a video. I'm not gonna do a dedicated video. I'm going to, you know, put this like in the show notes, in the video notes, and, you know, tags, so that if someone is searching for this book, hopefully they can find this video, and maybe I'll put timestamps so we can just skip to that part. I was very disappointed with this book. Especially for the price. I mentioned in my other video like 2 days ago that I have a very similar book to this one with just the style of it, which is this one, the Polyv style. And this one is spiral bound. And yeah, if you're into this style, definitely pick up this one. My problem with this book is that this feels to me like a book I would put together. Not that I'm saying that it's not. There are like lovely photos here, and it's kind of a little bit like eye candy, but I thought this was more of like a crochet book. I thought I would get her patterns in it, and you get like a couple of her patterns, but it's very, 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 very light on content. There are a ton of pictures here. I feel bad saying this because I'm sure there was a lot of work and love that went into this, but this is not what I expected. This is more of like a concept book into her life, with sections about the people in her life and a couple of like recipes, you know, like food recipes, and a lot of pictures of, you know, you get a little bit of the style, but of people that I don't know, and I just like, I don't need this. It would be something I would like imagine putting together for my family if I wanted to make such a book about like my family or family recipes, or, you know, my husband, or it's just not at all what I expected. And it costs a lot. I think it was like 40 euros or something like this. And you can find on her website, you can find her patterns, and the patterns are expensive, but you get a lot of like details. You get, you know, the flowers and the item itself. If it's like a bag or like this shawl, like this is, for example, one of her like signature patterns. So this is like the base of it, and then you get like all the flowers and everything. So I feel the price is fair for her patterns. It's like almost 14 euros for a pattern, but you get a lot in it. Whereas, you know, you think you're buying a book, you think you're kind of, I thought it probably has everything she has on her website, like all her patterns. I kind of assumed they were in this book. I'm not saying that this was like misleading or anyway, but I just assumed because I saw what she has on her website, and I thought, you know, her book probably has all of it. But maybe it was my mistake. I don't know. For me, this is a big no-no. Again, it's very hard for me to say this because I feel, you know, it is a negative review, but this is not at all what I was expecting. And it's kind of like a Instagram book with very little meat to it when it comes to crochet. So if you want more images of her and her family and like to read about her life, then maybe you will love this book. But if you're buying it as a crochet book, yeah, I think no. And on the other hand, what I was kind of expecting is this book, which for me, the book feels like the style of this designer. And again, it's not my aesthetics, but it is very appealing to me and I really enjoy looking at it. I kind of wish that a publisher, like a big publishing house, would take this on and make it a little bit cleaner, but keep kind of everything that she has. It's just that for me, it's like a lot. There's like pattern everywhere where it's really not needed, you know, like it's not needed to have here. The crochet items are so rich and so vibrant and so happy. Like I don't feel I need also patterns in everything around it. So but this is rich on patterns and how to do like all the things that she does. So this book, I feel you get what you pay for. I feel it's like it has what I thought it would have. It's just the aesthetics of the layout, I would say, not the content, is a bit much for me personally, just because I think it takes away from her designs when everything is busy. So this is just my personal opinion, and you know, I kind of know, I have an idea of how much work goes into a book. Full disclosure, I am currently in the process of writing a watercolor book. So my main channel is about watercolors and I am in the process, and I hired basically a woman that worked in publishing and now is like a freelancer. So she would do like all the layout stuff, and I know how hard it is, and so I really hate saying anything negative about like a woman who has a small business, but I think this could have been so much better if she just included all her patterns in this book. That's all I wanted. That is all I wanted. And she has those patterns written on her website. So I feel like it's, yeah, I was really disappointed. I'm sorry. I really like these people, and I think they're doing, like both of them, they're doing really, really fun stuff that not a lot of people are doing, or they do it really well. So yeah, but I have to be honest, and I don't want, like, I really feel sorry that I spent 40 euros. If you like her style, go to her website and buy one of her patterns. That would be, in my opinion, worth every euro. But yeah, the book, not for me. It's not for me. Okay, so I showed you 2 days ago also my blanket that I'm working on, and I did make a few more flowers, and the pattern is from this shawl pattern that I bought from Adinda's World website. So this is like the large flowers, and I made them with cream and white. Hopefully you can see. And I really, really like how this turned out. I tried adding a black center. Oh, this one has the center already in it. I have to sew it in, but it has the center. So I tried it with a black center and it was a bit much, but just the white and cream, I think it looks fantastic. And my plan is to add them to the places where, you know, the squares in the colors meet. Just, I think it looks super cute. It's like fun and really playful and detailed, but because of the light colors, it's not, I feel like it's not too much, at least where my red lines are, or pink lines. So, and I also did other flowers. So this is another one of her patterns. again, from the pattern for this shawl, which, you know, you can make like more decorations and add them. I just didn't, because I stopped here because this was colorful enough. But this is another flower. Really, really like this one, and especially because both of them actually, like also the one like this one that I showed you, they have a flat, they're pretty flat, which I think works well for a blanket. Like, you don't want something that is like super bulky. And this one is flat. So I'm thinking I'll do, you know, in some joints I'll do the larger flowers, and then in other maybe this one. But I definitely want to add these. And the pattern that I'm using, which I do highly recommend if this is anything you're interested in, this style, or just like getting really nice instructions for like a bunch of flowers, is this one. It's the Cherry Blossom. So this is from her website. It's just like a, you know, a digital pattern from Adinda's World. This is the Cherry Blossom shawl. And yeah, it has the pattern for the shawl and then all the decorations and the flowers, and yeah, you can see there's like a lot here. So that's that. Also, I made a little bit of progress before I left to go to Israel on the Allegria sweater from Maya Luna Corazon. And I haven't touched this in like a week and a half. So this is, it's like a yoke, and it fits really, really nicely. I'm kind of now over the shoulder, so I don't need to do a ton of decreases. I'm just like slowly working my way through it. I like the colors. Honestly, I don't know if I will, you can see my colors. I don't know if I will like continue this right now, just because I have so many other things I want to do. But it's like a simple pattern, and you know, you try it as you go. So you kind of have to figure out, she gives recommendations for how many increases you need to do, but you kind of have to figure it out by yourself. And the stitch is, what are you? Single crochet? Half double? It's a half double, my favorite. So the whole thing is half double crochet, and I'm using, I want to say a 3.5 millimeters, so pretty small for me. But here's a close-up. I like the yarn. It has like some fuzzy areas, and I really like the color, and it also has a nice drape to it. I don't know how heavy it'll be when it'll be like a full garment. I don't know if I want to say I don't know if I'll add sleeves. I should probably just, you know, finish the yoke and the body before I think about such things. But yeah, I like the pattern. It's nice. It's fast. Relatively for, it's not fast. Okay. It's kind of like simple. It's something I feel like I can do when I don't want to think, or I don't want to like develop my own patterns, which, you know, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing, like write things down. I don't have to do that with that sweater. I think that's all I wanted to show you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish I could promise you some fun hauls and stuff, but I don't have any yarn coming in, so that means I did spend an alarmingly long time today filling out kind of like fantasy shopping. I did find a yarn that I will order at some point, maybe not in the very far future, because I think it'll be perfect for summer. And I found it in a German shop. I think it's in Germany. I'm in Austria, if I didn't mention that at the beginning. So many of the shops I buy from I try to buy in Europe, but Germany is usually like very, very quick and affordable delivery, or like cheap delivery or free delivery. And I found a yarn that, like, I read a couple of, I don't know, the description of the product, and they said it was very, very, very soft, and it was 90-something% cotton, and it said that the cotton comes from Israel, which is where I'm from. So, and I have worked in the fields of Israeli cotton. No, I know it's like one of the things that Israel has been growing and making clothes out of from the very first days of the country. And yeah, when I was in, ooh, story times. So I went to a school. It wasn't like private. I think the elementary school is like private, and then when you go to like junior high and high school, it's kind of like half public. So I think you get like some, I think you probably pay more than like public school, but yeah, anyway, it was that's completely not relevant to what I want to tell you, but it was just like a pretty strict school. It wasn't like a boarding school or anything, but it was pretty strict, and especially the part of it, it had some sort of, I don't know, like element, it kind of had a connection to the military, or like preparing for the military. So if you don't know, in Israel, we have to go to the military. And I served for 2 years. I didn't do like anything combat. I taught English and chemistry, and it was very, very nice. But everyone has to, it's like mandatory, because sadly there are all kinds of wars in Israel every now and then. And yeah, you know, the Middle East, it's a mess. But yeah, so you could kind of feel it in our schools. We had kind of ceremonies that had a little bit of like a military character to them. And one of the things that I felt was very kind of strict was we kind of had these rough trips. Like every year, you know, we would go for a few days on like a class trip. And it just like makes me laugh, because I live now in Austria, and my daughter is in the 7th grade, and she has a school trip coming up, and they're going to ski. Now, okay, in Israel we have like one mountain with snow, but generally it's like a very warm country with very warm climate, and we have a bunch of deserts. And in my school, every year they would take us somewhere in the country, and every morning they would drop us at the bottom of a mountain, and we would have to climb that mountain during the day. And I was not an athletic child. I'm still not an athletic person, and I hated those things. I hated those trips. We just had to like walk uphill for days and days and days, and like carry all our food with us. And you know, I had a very, very privileged childhood. I, you know, wanted for nothing, but that was a bit intense, I have to say. Like, I don't think kids nowadays have to do these things. Also in Israel, I don't think it's like that anymore. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But that was my experience. And I think only in the senior year, we actually did a trip that was like fun. You know, we did like a Jeep tour, and you had like a party on a boat, and you know, we walked, but it wasn't like every morning climb a mountain. And yeah. But anyway, we had to do volunteer work every year, which I think is like something everyone should do. And while I am very, very sorry that, you know, the military is such a big part of Israeli life, I think there is something wonderful about, you know, giving back for 2 years. And I'm not saying, you know, you could volunteer in a hospital or an elderly home or a kindergarten or something like that. So I do like that aspect. I like that connection to the community, especially if you come from higher levels of, you know, socioeconomical background. I think it's really important to know your people and know that not everyone lives like you live. So I do like that, and we had to do that from school. I volunteered in a hospital. I helped, you know, children like with their schoolwork in the afternoon. And one of the things that they also made us do on time is we all went to a kibbutz, and basically for a week we kind of worked in the fields or in the kitchen or whatever. And yeah, so I worked for a few days in the cotton fields. And the point that I'm trying to make is, thank you for sticking with this story time, is that I would love to support the Israeli agriculture, and especially if the yarn is, you know, cotton, which I love, soft, which I love, and, you know, vegan friendly, perfect for summer, all those things. So I am going to try that at one point. They have a few different designs. There was one color work one that I really like, or like the color combination I really liked. So I would like to try that. So I will order that at some point for sure, because I'm just curious and I want to try it. But other than that, I don't have anything exciting. Like, I have a ton of yarn that I love, most of it, but I don't have anything new or new to me coming in, which I have to say, I feel a little bit dead inside. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, I know it's ridiculous to complain about such things, but it's just, I also see other YouTubers and other like podcasters and some channels, it just feels like yarn, and what can I tell you? I am not immune to FOMO and, you know, wanting to try everything. I mean, I think a few of the channels that I watch are like US based channels. So all of the places where, you know, Michael's, Joann's, Walmart, Premier Yarns, like Hirschner's, like so many places I see and hear like hauls from, not relevant to me with shipping costs and customs. It just doesn't make sense for me to buy anything from there. But yeah, it's like, I want new yarn also. It's just, I have so much. It's like, it's really stupid, I know. But I'm sure at least some of you can understand just the excitement and joy of getting new yarn. Okay, I think I made my point. I think it's time to go now and, you know, crochet something so that I can make room for more yarn and not feel bad about buying it. You know what I would love? I would love, this is what I like, my dream, my yarn dream would be to work with a brand. Now, I'm not going to say Noro, but if the people in Noro are watching, I've never tried Noro yarn, but their like color schemes are out of this world. But other companies also do great things. So I just want to work with one of these brands and make the most beautiful, vegan-friendly, soft, delicious, not super heavy, but also not like super thin yarn with my colors. That's all I want. I just want these colors, or like these colors in a skein, and then have also some solids that can go with it, because just like, you know, using like speckled yarn or color changing yarn sometimes on an entire garment, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So that's all I want. What am I asking? I'm sending it out to the universe. So there. But I think I could, you know, I am not someone that says like, oh, I can do that without a problem, or like I could do that. No, I'm really not. I'm usually my own, you know, harshest critic and judge. I think I could design a really great yarn collection. That's all I'm saying. So, mic drop. Bye-bye. Have a great day. I'll see you in another video soon. Bye.